presidents, you know. You made it a hotline, I made it a hot
podcast.
Hi, and welcome back to the Dead Presidential Society, where every day is President's Day. The only podcast for presidents, by presidents, about presidents. We set the precedent in the present. This is episode number...
This is our third episode ever, and I'm super excited.
Thomas
Congrats,
Jefferson.
guys.
Yeah.
We have a great guest today. But first, my name is James Fitz, the president of the Hair Club for Men.
Eventually you'll get the intro
My
down.
guest is Doug Holmeyer, president of...
Guest. Co-host.
Co-host. Sorry
At
about
the
that,
very
Doug.
least.
President of Red Shirts.
I feel like we're going to do that one in the future.
Our guest today is
The ghost
Andrea Entz,
Hello.
president of Red Plaid Shirts.
That is I.
And I'm James Fitz, president of Coca-Cola.
Oh, wow. Are you Mormon?
No.
Yeah, he's Lesman.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm one man. And all I need is one microphone to broadcast this podcast about presidents. Broadcast this podcast.
Yeah, but podcast is a palindrome of broadcast and iPod, so it's already in that word.
I didn't know
So
that.
essentially you're saying, I can iPod broadcast this broadcast, or I can broadcast this iPod broadcast.
I'm not. We don't use iTunes yet.
Oh, that's right. This is Thomas
Stitcher
Jefferson. They
Premium.
didn't have this time.
Yes. Anyway,
They
so
didn't have microphones. Why are we...
you might not have heard our first two episodes, so I'll
I
clue
haven't.
you in on how we like to begin with First Wives Club,
Oh.
where we talk about the First Lady.
We got First Wives Club.
First Wives Club. First Wives Club.
I like that that's the first thing you do.
Yes.
Martha.
Martha.
Jefferson.
Okay.
Martha Jefferson. She was the first wife to have, I guess, have been widowed prior to his inauguration.
No, two have died before their husbands.
She died
inauguration.
before he was president.
Okay.
So she never actually was the first lady,
Okay.
but technically she was. She never served as the first lady.
So sorry. There, I got it.
19 years before he was inaugurated.
A long time.
Yeah.
And he was like, so then who did the duties?
They didn't really care that much. There weren't
so
really
early
any
on.
There weren't really
Yeah.
any duties yet.
Yeah, everyone's. It's kind of like starting off a podcast where you're not really sure what's going on, but you know stuff isn't going right.
No, it's like you can
familiar
you can
It
start
is.
like adopting responsibilities piecemeal as it goes
Well,
along.
the third first lady.
Yeah, you'd think she'd follow up with Abigail Adams.
Right, but she would have died before this. Well, she died in.
She died before Abigail Adams was even vice president or first
wow.
lady.
You were about to say born.
And then vice president.
Yeah.
Well, she died in 1782, which was 4 years before we switched over from the Articles of Confederation over to the Constitution.
She never
with
even
the
saw
office of-
George Washington be president.
Exactly.
Wow. So she died before presidents existed.
Not true, because we had 8 presidents before George Washington. Under the Articles of Confederation, they were the
Okay.
president of the Senate, including John Hancock and a guy named Cyrus Griffin.
Wow. So when
We
you
do
guys
not cover those.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say you guys should
They're
do like
still alive.
-1, -2, go backwards order.
Yeah.
Well, should we go to our second section?
Our first section.
Presidential firsts.
Okay.
That's unprecedented.
Oh, you.
Presidential Firsts.
He's the first president
Stop it.
to have a vice president elected under the 12th Amendment.
You remember
First
the...
president to have a vice president elected under the 12th Amendment.
Yes.
I'm caught up.
Before that, the runner-up would become vice president,
Right. That's right.
which wasn't a very good system because then they would just basically make the vice president not do anything, and it made like this very successful political person neutered them.
That only ended. That ended this early.
Yeah, Thomas Jefferson. They figured it out.
I thought that went on longer for some reason.
Yeah. So
That still happens occasionally within the, party politics. Where,
Well,
But
well,
it'll
two
be-
people will be running for president and then whoever loses.
Yeah, for some reason
still
I thought
happens.
that was going on for longer, and I was like, how did they make that work
yeah.
with opposite parties. I mean, I guess parties weren't as...
Well, what they did was the 12th Amendment.
Would you like to read that out?
Nope. He was the first president to have 2 vice presidents.
Isn't the 12th Amendment your favorite amendment?
No, I like the no quartering soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no quarter. That's my favorite Led Zeppelin song, too.
No quartering, like, as in cutting them into fourths?
Yes.
That would be no drawing and quartering them. So you can't draw them, but you can paint them and then quarter them.
You can doodle them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best action word.
So,
My favorite amendment's the one that ends slavery.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like the one that brought liquor back. So many to choose from.
I'm not taking sides. Those are both good.
No, it's a tough moral
They're really
choice.
equal.
Ooh.
Separate, but equal.
Yeah, so...
Just for the record, I like the black one.
Right. Separate, but inherently unequal.
Yes.
Anyway, he had 2 vice presidents. Aaron Burr and George Clinton. You might remember George Clinton?
No, I didn't know there was...
He was the lead singer of Parliament Funkadelic.
No, don't. I know Aaron Burr.
Good, because
from...
everyone else we've had on the podcast where George Clinton comes up will start singing a Parliament Funkadelic song with James, and I have no idea what's going on.
Straight up?
Yeah.
That's an actual thing?
Yeah, George Clinton. He's very famous.
It's a song, apparently.
He was the
Or it's
vice
a band.
president to Thomas Jefferson.
And he was actually not a person of of the same name.
George Clinton.
I want you to think about that statement real fast. The vice president to Thomas Jefferson was in a band called Parliament Funkadelic, or
Wait, because...
multiple people named George Clinton. just examine
He
this.
served on the Parliament.
I don't think the word funkadelic existed.
Well, actually, Funkadelic is an old Dutch word. It might be, but I don't.
He was also the first he was the first president whose vice president was older than him. George Clinton was 4 years older than Jefferson.
I only know Aaron Burr because of Hamilton.
Because of Hamilton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was a vice president to Thomas Jefferson.
Now I know.
Both. We should technically have gone in to open up we should have opened up the cabinet for that. Because the vice president's a cabinet member. But we're not going to do that this time.
I feel like really stupid. I was going to be a history major.
Oh, yeah?
Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah.
Aren't you glad I didn't?
American history major?
I was going to teach
American
high school
history X
yeah.
history?
Oh.
So American history, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what you said.
American History X teacher?
X teacher?
The movie American History X has, I think, Edward Norton in it as a Nazi.
No,
No?
I wasn't going to teach that.
Oh, yeah. That
Definitely
probably
not.
would...
Well, I mean, that movie
you'd
has
have
a
to be
good
very
message about
detailed for
race.
to fill in
But
a semester.
Yeah,
He was the first president to be survived by his predecessor. Oh, well, he was the... First, I'll say. He was the first president to die on Independence Day.
but not the only one.
Is it because he was killed on Independence Day?
No.
Okay.
John Adams also died on Independence Day. But 4 hours later, so he wasn't the first.
Wait, the same Independence Day.
The
same
same Independence Day.
5 hours later.
That's coming up.
Yeah. The first president to be survived by his predecessor. By 5 hours.
Got it.
Because George Washington died earlier.
Yeah, he did. He died
No
third.
way. What did they both die from?
Death.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a tough way to go.
Well, I think they were just happy that they did such a good job.
And so they were like, this is it. This is the end.
They're like, mission accomplished. We made a great...
They thought they did a good
We
job.
made a great god darn country.
Okay.
It's time
Mission
to go.
accomplished. Check on that out.
Independence Day, This is my time
Well-
to go.
Well, what's very sweet is because there was a huge rivalry because they were friends and then they were frenemies and then they were friends again at the end. They made up.
Because he was vice president for the other vice president.
Did they make up because they were on their deathbeds holding hands?
No,
they
they
were
were like in
across the
different
city.
places and thought they were like the other one was still alive.
Oh.
Well, Jefferson was correct.
Which, yeah.
At the time.
Wow, what a thing.
Which, it makes me think maybe one of them could have become a ghost.
Are we moving into my favorite section?
Presidential ghosts.
Presidential ghosts. That's I like that one the most.
What do I do?
Do you think Thomas Jefferson became a ghost?
Yes!
I think so too.
No,
There's a high
it's,
chance that he haunts both Monticello.
Oh, well, well, that's not a ghost. That's a specter, slightly different. But
Sorry. A grim specter.
Explain.
explain. Well, okay. So ghosts are a spectrum, right?
Okay.
Like autism.
Yep.
It's a spectrum disorder.
Yeah, vaccines cause ghosts.
No, that's not true.
That's what
There's
keeps
no
us.
such thing as ghosts.
That's what keeps us attached to the
Another
this
world?
physical world.
Vaccines.
Vaccines.
Vaccines, yeah.
They say they
suck
have
us
unfinished
back in.
business, and they have to
Yeah.
tell people not to get vaccines. That's their
Exactly.
unfinished business.
Okay,
So
fine.
spectrum.
If you want to be technical, Thomas Jefferson haunts both the White House and his house at Monticello.
So we were right.
At the same time.
At this, yeah, which is
Is
weird.
that
Which makes
possible?
me think it's just someone in
Yeah.
the Scooby Doo like style.
Big dump some flour.
You
over
could
the
Yeah, because
fields
one
in
of them is
morning.
the one at the White House is Thomas Jefferson playing the violin, which is like who's
Well,
like
you would
you're-
think he plays the cello.
No, that's
Because of
his
Monticello.
other house.
You're right. Maybe he plays the violin when he's away. When he's at
Right.
home, he plays
He's
the
very
Monticello.
faithful to his Monticello.
Yeah.
I think you could haunt two places because you could be attached to two items that were important to you.
Yeah, but like who's got the time?
I don't know what the afterlife is like.
Well, I
It
mean,
could be.
Can't see ghosts.
Supernatural has an episode where one of them goes to hell, and he's like, it was only 4 months in the physical world, but it was like 40 years in the afterlife. So
So
chew
there.
on that.
I can't debate an episode of a TV show I haven't seen. I'm sorry.
And also, like, we just don't know what happens.
That's true.
I mean, Doug would argue we do.
Well,
Yeah, well, I do.
I can give a hint.
So,
His birthday. Should we go into presidential birthdays?
that was a fantastic segue.
Should you guess what day his birthday was?
Halloween.
No.
I thought
Close.
maybe that
No
would be
president, in fact, was born on Halloween. No, that's not true.
except President Jefferson Davis, but he was president of the Confederacy, so it doesn't really
Doesn't count. That's true. The same day,
You remember Jefferson Davis?
Huh?
he was born on January, March, April. What's the fourth month?
April.
April.
April 13th.
Ah, the Ides of April.
Should have guessed April.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah. The same day. Oh, John Adams was born October 30th, not the 31st.
Well,
That's why it was so recent in my mind.
I do know that Abe Lincoln died on April 14th and was shot on April 13th. So there's my presidential
By the
knowledge.
ghost of Thomas. No.
For the ghost of Squirmy, the Beanie Baby Worm.
I know this is. I used to have that.
And
That was my stuffed animal like baby toy.
The worm?
Yes.
Squirmy?
Yeah, and it rattled.
Was born on.
Was it actually?
Was actually born on the 13th.
I used to have a plush doll of Anthrax.
Oh. That's not very nice.
They made these like giant plush microbes. And
Yeah,
I had anthrax.
I
and it was
totally know
adorable.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They do them for what are those chemicals, table elements.
Periodic table of
Yeah,
elements.
they do them for elements
Do they?
because they'll have like a.
Electron.
Oh no, these were like diseases.
I've seen those too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
I
are
got
for smart kids. That's why you are the way you are.
Oh, thanks. I remember I had we were doing like a white elephant thing, and I ended up like buying the pneumonia one, and I gave it to someone who like 3 weeks earlier had like contracted pneumonia to the point where they were like hospitalized.
Oh, how
You're
topical.
like, to bring you comfort.
Yeah, I
See?
forgot about it.
Everything is a funny.
Yeah,
All connected.
I'm great.
I know this isn't
I'm
the president
best.
we're talking about, but my family is actually a descendant of Mary Todd Lincoln.
Really?
Well, not because we would be descendant of Lincoln, but we're
You're a
descendant.
descendant of Robert Lincoln?
We were descendant of Mary Todd's
Son.
sister or cousin.
Yeah, but her son too, right?
No, because we weren't descendant of Mary Todd and Abe.
Oh.
We're descendant of. We're the Todds. She was Mary Todd. My family's the Todds.
You're Todd.
And that's not just because of the last name that we know that, okay?
Wow.
Just saying.
Your last name isn't Todd.
It's my mom's.
Oh.
Oh.
Anyway, carry on with
No,
this
that was
president.
no, that was actually
was good.
fairly interesting.
Yeah, she had bipolar disorder, undiagnosed.
Mary Todd Lincoln or your mother?
Mary Todd Lincoln. Yeah, and she ended up I don't know, in a psych ward at some point, and going
'cause,
crazy with her kids.
all of her kids,
I think she
most of her
became a
kids
ghost.
died during the White House.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in the Abe Lincoln episode.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because I think she became a ghost.
It would make sense that she definitely had unfinished
In
business.
fact, there's actually no such thing as ghosts.
Should we rank?
on a
Should we
spectrum.
rank Thomas Jefferson?
Number 3. He's number 3.
Rank him
Number 3?
I'm gonna rank him 17.
That's pretty low.
Yeah. Well, I don't really like octagons.
What?
Thomas Jefferson invented a form of architecture centered around the octagon.
Oh, so you put him low because of the octagon.
Yeah.
So did he?
What?
So are you telling me?
Well, because I don't like the WWE wrestling in the octagon. I like it in the I like cage matches. That's really why.
So, Thomas
Thomas
Jefferson,
Jefferson, he's number 17.
who
'cause I prefer
also
a cage
wrote
match
the
to
Declaration
octagon.
of Independence
Yeah.
and a good chunk of the Constitution.
But
Also, there is a
Rage in the
professional
Cage.
Rage in the Cage ruins that.
it's
for
way
you.
better than the
Yeah,
octagon.
Rage in the Cage is ruining our democracy, is what you're saying.
Wow. You gotta take
You
a
said
stance.
it, not
You gotta
him.
take a stance.
All right.
What do you
What's
think?
your rank?
See, I rank presidents on how handsome they are. So I'm going to go right around 12 because it is, it's always like portraits or something that you see. So you can't really tell that sort of thing.
I
Do they
think
have any facial hair?
He did not. Which brings us neatly into,
Presidential hair.
or lack thereof.
Presidential hair or lack thereof.
He did have hair, though.
Is this the guy who? No, I'm thinking.
You're thinking Ambrose Burnside.
Yes, that is exactly what I was thinking.
The inventor of the sideburns.
No, I was thinking of
Santa Claus.
no hair, and then hair above the ears.
Hulk Hogan.
No.
Martin Van Buren.
And he had trouble walking, and he made a bunch
Mr.
of.
Magoo.
He had a lot of quotes that people.
Ben
Churchill.
Franklin.
Ben Franklin.
You should not have taken us that long to get Ben
Yeah.
Franklin.
What? Scrooge?
Well, Scrooge was always wearing a nightcap, so he could have been bald.
I said trouble walking, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going
I
like
also
Mr.
guessed
Magoo.
Santa Claus.
Is Santa Claus bald?
No, she hadn't gotten to that part.
No, he
yet.
has a hat. How could you? He could be bald.
How
I have
could you
seen
ever
interpretations where he's bald on top.
Are you bald?
No.
Andrew's wearing a hat right now.
I actually have very thick hair. Chris Anderson cut it recently, and she was like, "I'm very surprised that your hair just keeps going.
Ah.
It's always been that way."
Chris wants to give me
Frosted tips.
yes.
No.
Right?
I think it
You
might
could
tips
cut
are
it
too
off
far.
immediately.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm just wondering
very
how
easy.
would she do only the tips
Yeah, I
with your
know.
curls? You would look exactly like JT if you did
I'm
that.
curious.
You could cut it off. It's just that
Yeah.
easy. Do it. My stance has changed. It would make my boyfriend very happy if you did that, because every time we see you, he calls you
Yeah.
whatever. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Hank-
sorry. This is a clean podcast, so we're going to have to bleep that out.
That's fine.
Could you make some, bird noises or something like that? That'll work pretty good.
He calls him Tom or Justin Hanks. Somebody
Justin
said that
Hanks.
once,
Oh,
and now
yeah,
my
yeah.
boyfriend calls him that every time.
Kinda see
And my
that.
boyfriend really loves Justin Timberlake, so that's a compliment.
And it's kind of hard to not like Tom Hanks,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. He's the master of all the.
He's like that
jacks.
one person from the 80s and 90s that didn't turn out to be just horrible. Him and Tim Curry for some reason.
Did you know that he was born in...
Frankfurt? Yeah,
yes,
right?
yes.
Do you know he is, like, fine? It's
He's
still
born
fine
in
to be
Charles
okay
City
with...
County.
What?
The same place as John Tyler and William Henry Harrison.
Yeah.
So hair.
Yeah, hair. Thomas Jefferson had his own hair.
Good to know.
He was the first ginger president.
And before that, they wore other hair.
There were not
Actually, a lot of them like George Washington, for example, also powdered his own hair.
Oh.
Just in a style.
Powdered his hair.
He didn't wear a wig.
I did not know
And then
that.
John Adams wore a wig, but only when he was barristering.
Define.
That's like a lawyer.
Yeah.
Should we go
For
into...
bears. Which is more difficult because being homosexual in that era was a crime. So...
Who?
Should we go into...
Oh, I'm caught up. Bears. Okay.
Should we go into presidential... Speaking of animals.
Speaking of animals...
Should we go into presidential pets?
Presidential pets.
Oh, my
Yes.
favorite section.
Or lack thereof?
Or, no.
Aww.
He did have a pet.
He did have a pet.
A pet mockingbird named Dick.
That's...
That's kind of a mocking name. Like,
I have
that's a name to mock
parakeets,
them.
so
Do
that
you?
makes me so
You have
happy.
one or two?
I have 2 parakeets.
you do
Yeah.
have a pair of Keats.
I have a pair of Keats,
He
yeah.
actually had 4.
So that's
but Dick was the favorite.
So he just didn't name the
He
other
didn't
3?
name the other ones. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or they were all named Dick.
Or they all were just like, that's why they're like, Dick.
Mm.
They learned how to say that. And so he said that's what their name is now.
He also had 2 shepherd dogs from France, possibly Briards, Burgery and Grizzle.
Burgery and Grizzle.
He didn't have
Those sound like off-brand McDonald's mascots.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
They
Burgery
do.
is funny, kind of interestingly spelt. It's B-E-R-G-E with an accent, R-E.
So it'd be like Bergerie.
Burgery.
Oh,
Now I'm still thinking like Burgery and Gristle.
yeah.
But it's Grizzle with 2 Z's.
With 2 Z's?
Yeah.
McGrizzle.
The
I didn't
McGrizzle.
have birds on my socks.
That's what Snoop Dogg calls fat on his meat.
McGrizzle. Well, but it's a funny name for a dog when you also have 2 grizzly bear cubs.
What?
Yeah, a male and female pair, gifted from Captain Zebulon Pike.
From.
Zebulon Pike.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Well, I know, like.
He led some of the early expeditions under the Louisiana Purchase.
Oh.
A lot of European countries would have like England had a royal zoo, so you could go in, but it was like usually really big and dangerous animals, so people would die.
Yeah, the Tower of London.
Yeah.
When they opened up the Tower of London, admittance was like 2 pennies or a cat or a dog.
No way.
Because it was cheaper than like buying meat. So they would just feed pets to these zoo animals.
He also had a horse named Caractacus, the 1st century British chieftain. C-A-R-A-T-A-C-U-S. Caractacus.
Cactus.
Caractacus.
Pterodactyl.
Caractacus?
Caractacus.
I think I had an extra C in there. But...
And a mayor named Allie Croker.
Yeah. He had his own leader of a city.
And
Wow.
a Godolphin Arabian.
A dolphin?
Yes.
That's a dolphin that's also the leader of Libya.
Oh.
You can tell by the wheezing that I'm behind.
Muammar Gaddafi was...
Now I got.
All right. That was
The wheeze was.
Well, and he was a
I
Go.
got it.
He was also very good at the Chinese Go.
Yeah.
The game Go. It's got another name. Yeah, he was a Go dolphin. Named Young Fear Not. Not like a nautical mile.
Oh.
Oh, I was gonna say, young, fear not.
Yes.
I am your president. I will help you.
Yeah, that's probably what he said.
Except it was a dolphin.
And it was ocean word.
An Arabian dolphin.
Yeah.
Do you know Flipper the dolphin died on May 1st?
No, this year?
No, like I think it was like 1980.
Why? No, I didn't know that.
I only remember that because it was the same day about 31 years before Osama bin Laden was killed.
Oh. Did you know no president was born on May 1st?
Huh. The Ides of May.
That would be May 15th.
Yeah.
Maybe it is the 13th. No, it's definitely... Because I'm thinking... You're thinking
of Julius Caesar.
The Ides of March.
And I'm thinking of you.
He
Daydreaming
gets
and I'm
stabbed
thinking of
15
you.
times.
Is that right?
Daydreaming and I'm
Yeah.
I thought it was like
thinking of you.
23 times.
Oh, so it's on the 15th and he gets stabbed.
Or it might have been the 23rd and he got stabbed 15
No,
times.
I think it's the 15th and that you're right. I know podcasts, they do a fact check afterwards. And they recheck all the things.
What
they say.
podcast is that?
That is...
This one.
This one.
Yes.
No, it's with... It's Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I listened to that one, and then Unqualified with Anna Faris, and I just subscribed to Amy Schumer, 3 Girls, 1 Keith.
I'm not a big fan of Amy Schumer.
I'm trying to hold on to it.
You should
It was the leather special that bothered me.
I agree.
you should subscribe to the Dead Presidential Society.
I will also subscribe to that one.
And my other podcast, Seattle's #1 comic book podcast.
You know, if it's in the title, it seems a bit desperate.
Well, yeah.
But I'll subscribe.
Oh, thanks. It's okay.
The leather
Doug,
special.
do you have any humanitarian efforts you'd like to
Do I have any humanitarian efforts?
Yeah. Like
I hate the fact that you phrased it like that.
Any charities that you'd like to promote?
Oh, why are you putting me on the spot? I don't know charities. I don't want to say like the Humane Society where like people are starving to death.
But animals are starving to death too. We can be upset about multiple things at the same time.
Yeah, but you got to be upset about the like number one
What's
thing.
the worst thing, Doug,
Iceland.
out there that you need?
What is the worst thing out there?
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Raise some awareness. The people don't know enough about presidents.
I was gonna say like piracy.
Piracy is bad.
What?
piracy's
Of
bad.
all the things going on right now?
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Somalia
Doug,
is
open
a
your
mess.
eyes. The world is a big place.
Oh wow! You know what? I just did that. Oh wow!
You
You're
spend too much time on the internet.
No, it's like no.
It was
Piracy
it was
has
it was a
helped to
piracy
destroy the economy of Somalia and then neighboring Djibouti, and then
Djibouti.
That's an actual country.
I know, but
And then Eritrea and
Yeah,
Ethiopia.
but it's a good place
is-
for pirates to hang out.
It's also like meaning that shipping cargo has to move around the Horn of Africa, which is causing like
Oh
a
my
lot
goodness.
of ecological damage because you can't use the Suez Canal.
wow.
Brought to you by Teddy Roosevelt.
Brought to you by presidentialhams.com. Presidential Hams, your only choice for pictures of President of the United States holding a ham.
Which is not a euphemism for his penis.
No,
Just to clarify.
this is an actual website
Yeah, for ham.
For-
ham presidents.
for ham president.
Okay.
Ham-fisted.
Ham pop.
With a ham.
All right, I think we're pretty much good.
Okay.
Presidents, you know. Uh-huh.